This video is going to be on SOFI Technologies, ticker symbol SOFI. Earnings report, earnings call is coming out on Tuesday, July 29th, 2025. And these are just going to be my predictions for the numbers that I think actually matters. Keyword, the numbers that actually matter. I actually, unlike everyone else, right, I don't really care that much right now, this quarter, about specifically their, I do care about revenues, but I don't really care that much about their earnings per share, just because management even said before that they would actually play around with those numbers. If the economy was doing really poorly, then they would kind of buckle down and kind of focus on just collecting money and like improving their balance sheet. But they said that if the economy is doing well, then they would actually use that money and try to grow and expand as much as possible through marketing, through attracting new members, through all those things. And that's the latter is what actually happened, right? The economy is doing well. And they even said that in their previous earnings call, that they don't even see any cracks in the economy. That's why I'm assuming that earnings per share, those things, it's going to beat the expectations, but it's not going to like blow you away, right? But I said this in a previous video like a month ago. All that matters this quarter, in my opinion, is number of new members and number of new products. I think more specifically, I think the most important thing is number of new products. And also guidance, of course, right? I'll talk about all three of those things. So, with new members, I have this written down somewhere. But where did I write this down? This one? Okay. With the new members, we know that they have the continuation from the TGA deal, from SoFi Stadium, from NBA, all those things, right? So with this quarter specifically, this is the first full quarter of SoFi Technologies having their SoFi Plus subscription like model, right, where you can pay $10 a month to earn that SoFi Plus membership benefit. Now that is really big. I mentioned this in a previous video as well, because that basically gives all the S-corps and all the LLCs a reason to join SoFi's ecosystem, because you don't need that stable direct deposit. Maybe you're just starting to invest in a company and starting to invest in a business and you don't have any earnings. But now those people can join SoFi's ecosystem, SoFi Plus ecosystem, and get all those benefits. Another thing, obviously it just started this quarter, but then you will get those student loan debt refinancing tailwinds, right? I've also noticed that there have been a lot of marketing efforts by SoFi, right? I've been seeing their ads more often. Maybe I'm just being targeted. That's also possible. But you do also have the increased rate for new members, the 4.0% interest rate versus the 3.8. If you can get someone that has medical school student debt as a SoFi member, then they'll give both you and that new member $1,000. $1,000. So $2,000 for one new member. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. So the other thing is also just SoFi being a trending stock, honestly, for the past however long. That also adds to SoFi's name recognition, to SoFi's brand recognition. The more people talk about it, the more buzz that there is around SoFi as even not even as just a product, but just SoFi even as a stock. As long as that name is out there, it does help bring brand recognition and more people will come because of it. I feel like there's a lot of tailwinds for attracting new members to SoFi's ecosystem. Not to mention that management themselves have been saying we want to grow as much as possible if the economy is booming. But I think that more important than members, it's going to be new products. I think new products is going to be super important to look at, because you get to see how many new members use those new products. Specifically, I want to see management's data on how many SoFi Plus members get new products. Management before they have said that among SoFi Plus subscribers who are completely new to SoFi, over 75% adopt at least a second product and over 40% adopt a third product within 30 days of enrollment. If that is the case, then I want to see there should be a slight uptick that doesn't just follow a linear regression for those new product ads. And I think that it kind of has to do with like human psychology, where if you're offered something for free, you're not as incentivized to use everything that they offer, that product offers. But if you have to pay for something, then you know damn sure that you're going to try to squeeze at least what you think is a fair amount out of that product, or out of that thing that you're paying for, out of that subscription, that product, whatever. And now that people are paying $10 a month for that subscription for SoFi Plus member benefits, then just like intuitively, obviously this isn't like backed by anything, but intuitively, I think that those members will try to use and will sign up for more SoFi products. The most important thing, other than what's on their balance sheet and what's on their like metrics, is I want to see their guidance. Noto has mentioned in the previous earnings call, they want to expand their credit box to those members that have the 600 credit scores, the 650s, 680s. If they can find a loaner that is willing to accept those loans, right, for the loan platform business, then that would be game changing. They said that they rejected $100 billion of loans in Q1. If they can get someone to join the loan platform business who is risk on enough to accept those loans, that would be massive for SoFi, and that would be one of the most bullish black swan events for SoFi. If they can do that, that would be wild. I also do expect them to have level 1 options. I think that in order to kind of increase awareness for other stock traders, right? In order to increase awareness as a stock, then they do need to have those level 1 options, because like who's trading SoFi, who's buying SoFi? It's not going to be the people that are just slowly DCAing into the SPY or the Qs or some type of ETF or whatever, right? Like you want to attract retail, right? And to attract retail, the retail that are degens that only care about calls and options, they're going to be like, oh well, I mean, SoFi doesn't even let me sell calls or puts, so I should just wait until they have that. It's kind of the mentality where rather than attracting their core demographic, they want to somehow attract the investors of the world, right? Because their core demographic, again, they're Henrys. They're attracting the Henrys, like the people that are still working and not actually looking at SoFi stock. They have their own lives, they have their own businesses, right? So actually adding level 1 options would be more of like a marketing play than it would be a actual like product offering play, in my opinion. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about is, I heard a lot of people talking about how, well, SoFi, maybe they lost a lot of members, or maybe there was part of their business did poorly in April, right? April, the tariff drama, and like a bunch of stocks dropped, right? I wanted to kind of play, not devil's advocate, but kind of see the other side, right? Where I'm gonna draw some insight from Peter Lynch's one up on Wall Street. I think it's called One Up on Wall Street, where yes, the stock market dropped a lot, right, in April. But a lot of people, a lot of their members don't notice these things. They don't really care about these things. Maybe they hear about the stock market in passing, but those people, they don't know anything. Like, they don't think about the stock market. They're not glued to your Robinhood or your whatever. Those people, oh, the stock market dropped 10% today. Okay, whatever, right? They don't care, and they don't know about those things. They just know that in their mind, in their lives, they're just doing what they're doing. I mean, yeah, you could say that maybe it dropped a little bit, but I think that the drop is kind of overblown, because you as a retail investor, you as just any type of investor who's paying attention to the stock market, those things affect you much greater than they affect the normal SoFi member, right? Or the common normal cohort of people that SoFi is trying to attract as a member. So I don't think that that's going to play that big of a role in kind of maybe impacting SoFi's new members or SoFi's business. It might have a little bit, but you do have to remember that SoFi, in their previous earnings, they said that SoFi also, I looked at other bank earnings as well. I think Jamie Dimon said the same thing, and also Bank of America also said the same thing. They didn't see any cracks in the economy in Q1. It ended March 31st, but the earnings calls for those earnings happened during and before the April crashes. So those people already had some insight, and like you could read some insight and read some of their thoughts in those Q1 earnings for Q2 earnings as well, because they already experienced a third of Q2. Because these people whose lives don't revolve around Wall Street, don't revolve around the stock market, this April drop in the stock market may have not actually impacted SoFi's membership ads, product ads, or business as much as you think. So all in all, I don't know, I've just been rambling for the past 15 minutes now. Like, I expect SoFi to do what they've been doing on their earnings, on their revenue, right? Just to beat it. But for specifically members and products, I think that's going to be like, I hope that's going to be like much greater than expected. I also think I really want to see guidance on expanding that credit box for the loan platform business, for getting new partners that will accept those lower credit score loans. I also just want to see what else SoFi has in store for the next quarter. Well, I want to see how they're going to improve their credit card business. I want to see how they're going to improve their tech sector, right? Because one thing I really liked about just SoFi as a business, right, is their tagline is get your money right. And the thing about their tagline is they're actually following through with their tagline, because you can kind of see it just based off of how their businesses are doing. What two businesses usually are really profitable but isn't as profitable for SoFi? It's Invest and it's credit cards, right? I mean, like, credit cards, of course they can be profitable. You just have to screw over the your customer, right? Invest, of course, it can be profitable. Just offer them as many things as they want, and then let them gamble on anything under the sun, right? That's how you can be profitable with those two businesses. But I think that SoFi, like, they're actually trying to go through with their tagline. I think that as long as SoFi just keeps on executing based off this tagline and they don't stray off the path, then I think SoFi is going to be perfectly fine. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Go SoFi. Peace.